Hello, Fredak here. Fred ACC, all one word. Alrighty, so I'd like to thank you all for being here today. Today is Saturday, March the 15th. Saturday, March 15th. It is a few ticks past 8 a.m. in the morning, East Coast time. Why does Fredak put these things on here? So that people don't think that I'm redboarding things after they've occurred. It is Saturday, March 15th, about 8:10 a.m. East Coast time. Hello! I'd like to thank you all for being here today. Hope you're having a wonderful day out there. Fredak he's got notes. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but Fredak has notes. So today we are doing XRP. Do you really want more money? I think most of us do. Well, I'm still trying to figure out, hey, let's cut the noise. Not a noise day. Do you really want more money? I'm going to hope that you do, and that's why you're here subscribing to Fredak. Let's get right into these things here. Okay, not to toot my own horn, but for all of you who are new to the channel, hopefully you subscribe, you start to watch Fredak, and you start to put some quid in your pockets. Last Tuesday, I posted Tuesday, March 11th. On that posting, I very early on alluded to the thought that the stock markets are probably oversold. In the next 2-3 days, there's going to be a bounce back. Yesterday's posting, Friday, say goodbye. The SS Generational Wealth ship is sailing. Are you on board? That's the only real question. I hope that you are. And as I've said in the past on my postings, with Fredak, it's one and done. I don't sit here and script it all out. This is the closest thing to a script. One and done. There's no retakes. There's no this. There's no that. Just roll with it. And I try to share things with you that you're not going to get from all the other talking heads. And boy, the talking heads have got a lot of talking that they do out there. I do watch some of them. I find it very interesting. Let's get right into things. Alrighty, I'm going to bounce around a little bit here, but when it comes to XRP, it's the big money that will make it happen. The big money is what's going to is what can make things happen. The big money is in control. Does that sound so surprising? Not really. That's not really news, but I don't see any other big talking heads talking about these things. I have noticed some of them are probably taking a glance at Fredak and saying, this crazy guy's got some points to him. Because it seems like possibly they're regurgitating some of the things that I'm mumbling about. I personally think United States financial crisis is one of the best postings I will ever put on here. It's the government's way, the U.S. government's way, of maintaining control of the financial, monetary, global systems. And they get to wipe their slate clean somewhat. It's a little bit of a monetizing, creating things out of thin air. But a posting that I think is worth watching. In 5-10 years from now, people might point back and say, that guy was on top of it. Okay, so let's get to the notes here. Alrighty, so what I can share with you is that those of you who are new, subscribe, start to watch the past postings, good stuff on there. The famous analogy of how you could ask the old fisherman there, I'm so hungry, can you catch me a fish? He catches you a big fish, he hands it to you, you cook him up and you eat well that night. 3 days later, where's the old man? He passed away, got hit by a bus or whatever. Now you're on your own. Whereas if you teach a person how to fish, they'll catch big fish on their own. They'll live well for the rest of their life. That's what the Fredak channel is all about, trying to expand your horizons. Knowledge is power. As I've pointed out many times, knowledge is power. Alrighty, so in the crypto world, there's probably a few million followers. All the big talking heads, there's people with 167,000 subscribers, 300,000 subscribers. I don't have that kind of a gang following me, but I got a smart gang because they're hopefully cashing in. I hope some of you bought in there. I didn't buy the XRP on the dip 5 days ago on Monday, Tuesday when it was down below $2. It was a beautiful trade to jump into that. Was there a lot behind it? Not really, just the fact that it was beaten down on very light volume. And the big money has told me from the price movements that they are supporting this thing, even though utility is not there yet. And that's going to be the huge game changer, which I'll get into in a moment. Still, knowing that the backing of the big money is in this thing here, and I have posted about how I think Bitcoin might have run its course, I thought it was something that was worth a thought, that at $1.96, $1.97, you buy 2,000 of these, it runs up 40, 50 cents, which it was probably going to do. You take $1,000 profit on just under a $4,000 investment, in a matter of a couple of days, not a bad move. On Tuesday, when I did post, Tuesday, March 11th, XRP at 241 or whatever it is, which is pretty much where it's at now. I had said the stock market would seem like it's very oversold. The bloodletting had happened. The fear of getting out had fixated into a lot of individuals, and they sold. The big money, they got out to the sidelines. Things were ripe for a bounce up. Posted that yesterday morning. Take a look. I'm not redboarding it. It's there. I did it early in the morning yesterday. I mumbled, stock market's probably going to rise 400, 500, 600 points. What was it up? 600 and something points. Spot on. Seen the movie before. I knew the ending. I look at all the big postings from all the big money out there. Actually, all the big following, the people with all the big followings. Here's my question out to you guys, my subscribers. Is there anybody out there, I'm not looking for Dorothy Lamour or whoever else, Susie Chapstick, that I turned $7 into $700 million or whatever. No, but is there somebody that's down to earth, honest, that's giving good, solid information that I could follow and I could make money from? Because if they're out there, I want in on it. Is there any other Fred Axe out there? If you have one, post it down below. I'll take a glance at it. All the big following people, I'm not going to go into any names, but they're not putting any money in my pocket. I will be fair and square and say that I do take a peek at Common Sense Crypto. I think his name is Rich. Seems like a decent guy. He's very, very bullish on XRP. He might be a little bit of a deer in the headlights, caught up in his own, but we're all guilty of that. I'm guilty of it too. I own XRP, and I do believe it goes a lot higher. But they're all on there regurgitating and telling you what you want to hear. Fred Axe not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what it's like, what it's really like. The charts, the Elliott waves, the Fibonacci's, what do we got all that? It all doesn't matter. I don't think there's enough people following all this, whereas the dead cat bounce that I saw coming in yesterday's markets, short term, I thought about lingering until Monday, but I moved to the sidelines, took a nice little profit. Sometimes greed is not good, you get burned. There's probably a recession coming, times are getting tough, it could be a major real estate collapse globally. Probably already in the second, third inning, fourth inning. Just nobody wants to see it yet. Then when they start to see it, that's when things get ugly. Alrighty. What do we got over here? What does it all come down to with XRP? It all comes down to utility. Sure, the big money has spoken. They've made they're staking their claim onto XRP. That's what drove it from generational wealth back in October when I posted that. From 52, 53 cents all the way up over $3. Now you've had a little wave downward for numerous different reasons. Totally understandable. Like I've tried to state on some of my other postings, when it comes to the trading world, there's a game. It's the trading game. Then there's the game within the game. There's also a game within the game that's within the game. When you start to understand all that, you have knowledge. Knowledge is power. let's try to understand this. Let's say two of the big houses are talking to each other. Big institutional groups. One group says, we have 8 billion XRP. And they get approached, would you mind selling us 800 million of them? And so group says, sure, we could do that. And they negotiate on a price. Right now it's at $2.41. They negotiate a price on that, and it's going to be at $2.16. That price has to get pushed down to $2.16. At least this is how it works in a regulated market. Because all the people that were bidding to buy XYZ stock at $2.27, $2.26, $2.22, $2.21, they have to get filled on their orders. You have to push everything out of the way down to the price that you're going to make the huge trade at. So if it's an 800 million share trade, you'd have to push everything down through the bid prices, and clear out the whole bulk of the rest of it. Let's say it takes 15, 20, 30, 40 million to push the price down to $2.16, but that's the price that the two big groups had negotiated on. That's the price that they're going to be in there to purchase at $2.16. So they're going to sell, the first institution is going to sell 800 million of them with a limit price of $2.16. It's going to cascade down through the bids, 227, 226, all the bidders that are trying to buy XYZ at 221, 219, 218. When it hits 216, the remainder of that 800 million is going to get filled. That's the way that the game is played on the big, large numbers. All these small moves on XRP, they're all just noise. Gambling, scratch-off lottery tickets, it all comes down to utility. Once utility starts to step into the game and people start to see that you could send this and you can do that from here to there, around the world, instantaneously, fractions of a cost, that's when it's game on. That's when it all changes big time. That's just my opinion. It's not financial advice. All this stuff is not financial advice, just the ideas swirling around in Fred Ack's head. Each day I start to wonder to myself, how can I post this new topics to the folks that subscribe that they're not hearing from all the other talking heads? But every day new things seems to happen and there's stuff to talk about. Part of my postings continuously on here is that I want to stay connected to those of you that start to get kind of shaky in the knees. Maybe I should have got out. I bought it at 81 cents. I'm up a lot of money. That's when you got to come to a decision. Why am I in this thing? What was my main goal for buying this? Personally, I think that the upside potential is there. You got so many different things out there. Lawsuits that are floating, ETFs, huge game changer. Once we get volatility with this, the worldwide masses are going to want to play the game. Everybody wants to be in the game. It's not an easy game. On the crypto side to it, I have to analyze it, try to figure out if there are ways to put the odds in my favor, our favor, to buying or shorting, going short, up or down. I have a great understanding of that stuff with the individual stock market. You're looking for group strength, volume surge, up markets across the board, or down. Like, you don't want to see a divergence. You want all the wind to be at the back of your sails. You don't want any headwinds. You don't want any glitches. You move all the things. You just wait for opportunities. Nobody forces you to go in and buy anything in the stock market, in the crypto world. Now, I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. I'm just pointing out a lot of different stuff on many of my different postings. And I'm going to say this again, if the big money is controlling the picture, and when this thing, they've already tipped their hand, but Institutions, big money, they do not want you and I along for the ride. Why bring us along on the SS Generational Wealth? The ship is sailing. Going to sail real soon at $2.41. You can see that this thing's primed to go. Any little smidgen of news, get some volume surges, people jumping in and buying. This could be one of the last opportunities. Last call for alcohol, last call for the SS Generational Wealth. Woo-hoo, the train is leaving. The boat is sailing. How much you going to buy at $7, $8? Yeah, when the ETFs come out and you get 3-to-1 leverage on a pattern day trading account as an individual, you get 2-to-1 leverage on the margin. I guess you could own some of it, a decent chunk. You could definitely day trade it, but once again, me personally, I have to feel as though I have an edge. I want to be flipping a coin heads or tails. It's a 50-50 proposition, and the person on the other side of that table is putting up $6 for my $5. I know inside this Fredak head that mathematically I have an advantageous situation here. If we flip the coin once, I call it tails, it comes up heads, I lose my $5. I can walk away thinking, well, if we had done this 1,000 times, 10,000 times, I'd be rich. All that blabble being said, Saturday, March the 15th, early AM. I hope you're in the XRPs. I'm sitting tight on mine, haven't sold a single one. Let's leave you with something here. I want to thank you all for being here today. I hope all your days are winning ones. I hope you subscribe. If you have any of those talking heads out there that are sharp and on the ball, and be wary of the scammers. The scammers are, oh my God, they're circling the wagons. Be careful. I should be posting something on be careful. Okay, so some out there have no idea what they're doing. And many of those are really good at it. Whatever that's worth. Alrighty, may all your days be winning ones. I hope you have a wonderful day today. Stay healthy. Try to post something pretty soon. Anything interesting, put it down below. Hope I didn't forget anything from my notes. The notes! XRP, the good ship is sailing.